This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily match those of WPSL. However, you know we are the ones who've encouraged you all along to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, because it's time to get healthy. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce, hosted by the one and the only Joanne Seeger.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I hope good. Thank you for spending some time with me this morning. I really appreciate it. I mentioned this a few times, but having, young children, I see that sometimes it's like a 10-second little video clip that everyone's attention is going to these days. So I know my show's an hour, so I really do appreciate you spending an hour with me. And this topic is close and dear to my heart this morning. I had to go through it to be able to explain it.
Oh, I dare not ask what it is.
Oh, boy. So, as everyone knows, I missed last week. We were in a DIY construction fail nightmare. All right, not a nightmare. I'm laughing now.
Just a mere
if
bad
I
dream.
did come on the show last Wednesday, I wouldn't have sounded so happy and chipper.
Oh, but you sound happy and chipper today.
You know what? And I'm just going to put it out there that I totally even forgot that it was Wednesday. When Carol called me, it's like, Joanne, where are you? Literally, that's what a fog we were in.
When you're at wit's end and get a call like that.
Yeah, right?
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, no, I could use the
today?
excuse that, I'm used to Thursdays. But no, it was because of this home construction DIY nightmare. But my husband and I, we did watch a few videos and thought we were pros. So for you pros out there that really kind of giggle or get upset that all these DIYers think that they have your skill set after 30 years in the trade, I get it. I get why you charge what you charge. I get who you are, and I respect you more than ever now. So, yeah, we watched a few videos. We were like, we could do this.
Appreciate things.
Yeah, now, so the topic is kind of like multifaceted, okay? But so if you want to put something on your notes, because I hope you're taking notes, it would be about indoor air quality and off-gassing and VOCs, okay? Volatile air compounds, organic air compounds. So yes, that's going to be the topic headers, but boy, I'm going to spin some personal stories to go along with this topic because I kind of ran into everything.
Put your ear filters on.
So, one thing, Matt and I bought our home, say, 4 years ago, and we got blessed with a big enough home for our 4 kids, our dogs, and our life. And we got a really good deal because there were things that had to be done that we were aware of, and we were budgeting and pacing out where the money went first, like I think most people do. Unless you're just so wealthy, you can just snap and have all the laborers come and get it all done, and you're not even in the home, so you don't have to worry about VOCs or off-gassing.
Bring me some cash, please.
I know. Have a butler. Yes. I wish. Okay, so one weekend, Matt went out of town, and sometimes when I don't have him to distract me or entertain me, I just start doing projects. So I'm sitting on the couch with the girls who are 12 and 13, and I was looking at the stairway carpeting. And it is so old and so nasty. And, between dogs and kids and all of us, because the bedrooms are upstairs. So, that carpet is going up and down all day long. And I have one daughter who constantly was sniffling and blowing her nose, or I would tell her, please go blow your nose. No, there's nothing there. And it was really just, we're talking years, and I tried everything I could. I put her in the room that didn't have the carpeting. I really tried the best I could, but nothing worked. So her mom, because she's my stepdaughter, thought that maybe she's allergic to the dogs in our home. Well, my dogs, like kids. I'm like, oh no. Right. So I start ripping up the stairway carpeting. Okay, and wow, that was between my hips and my legs and the hand strength, because I watched, of course, a video which made it sound like, oh yeah, this is a breeze, right?
Anybody can do it. Just follow these
And now I'm
instructions.
remembering talking about this on a radio show right after I did it recently. So, because I remember my hands were so swollen, and I talked about the product I use. So I'm going to give that a shout out too. I just remembered about that. But on the videos, it says, well, hopefully you'll be lucky where the person putting in your carpeting only used a couple carpet staples. Well, nope, I didn't get lucky. They were lined up, and we have extra wide stairs, so there was so many carpet staples, and they were in for so many years that, boy, I mean, that was a workout. But I got the carpet off, I got the padding off, cleaned up the stairs nice. And what we noticed, to me, was miraculous, because we still have more carpet upstairs, but this is just the staircase. My daughter's sniffling and allergy stopped immediately. I am not talking about weeks. I am not talking about days. I am talking about immediately. And
the dust on the stairs?
Right. So we're figuring, of course, dust mites, which is an awful topic in itself, which I'm going to talk about as I'm going to try not to throw up as I discuss it, but it's so gross. But so we were assuming that it's just a severe dust mite allergy she had, because what she had a habit of doing, because she's my ever-ready bunny, she has more energy than all of us in the house put together. She's just nonstop. She would go up the stairs on her hands and feet, like run up, like really fast. And so she's just basically sending those dust mites right into her nose. So even though her room, the carpet was removed, it's still, she's still getting that staircase, nice little influx on the way to the room. So yes, so that stopped immediately. So I think that story is kind of remarkable, because a lot of people are like, will it make a difference? It made a difference, just the staircase. So if you can't afford to do the whole house, if there's one area that gets the most movement on, I would get rid of that. And if everyone knows, staircase carpeting is a pain to vacuum. That would be a workout in itself. I mean, I always did it, but wow, that's a lot of effort to really get in the edges and the sides, and especially if you have dogs. So
there's no supplement that can cover dust mite allergies.
Well, that's the thing. You know me. I went into my magic boxes, and I'm like going, okay, but this daughter doesn't swallow pills. So it was a little bit more challenging, and she's only with us 1 week on, 1 week off. Mm-hmm. So the food she's really becoming a health food nut. She's loving nutrition now, and some of it was the allergies, but I was disappointed that it wasn't enough just changing the food. And now, I realized, she's going up a staircase that has tons of who knows what, hands and feet, and pounding that right into her sinus and her lungs. So that was really comforting. And that little thing with the hands, I do want to mention, if anyone really does a gardening project or a home project and your hands just are taking a toll, I rubbed on comfrey cream, which now I use regularly. This stuff is amazing. Comfrey cream is famous for inflammation and for sprained ankles and healing bones, but it really took my swelling down within minutes of my hands. So just to kind of keep that in that medicine cabinet, much safer than most other things. All right, so back on topic. So I get the staircase done, and then I'm looking around at our inexpensive laminate flooring. I'm mentioning inexpensive because, unfortunately, when you do an inexpensive laminate, the fibers that are used are extremely toxic to the air, and they make a lot of volatile air compounds that are dangerous, and they're not meant to get wet. So our AC leaked in our dining room, and even though we made sure there was no mold, and because of budget reasons, we kind of just kept it there, even though it did not look so great. We kind of just had a shimmy boards to make it look like it wasn't like a little roller coaster ride for the local mice. You could see that the water damage caused some vulnerabilities throughout the floor in the dining room. And then in the kitchen where the laminate was placed, and I could tell that it was done to do a quick, let's make this look real nice, because it was floating over a tile floor, and then where they removed carpeting in the main room, they kind of went over that, so there was a little lip. So there was so many vulnerability spots. And in the kitchen, by the fridge and by the dishwasher. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because all this laminate, I started seeing like little discoloration. Everyone says I have a nose like a hound, but I kept smelling smells that weren't natural, like that humans and animals don't give off. And I just felt so uncomfortable with it. So that weekend Matt goes away. What do I start doing with the girls? We start ripping up the flooring too. And we went crazy getting rid of all this flooring. And to my surprise, there was a beautiful tile floor underneath the kitchen area. And I was like getting super excited until I realized why they covered it is because there was cracks all the way through, which when we did remove the tile, you could see it even in the cement. But Matt and I got prices on different flooring options, and we were trying to go lowest VOC or the most natural. And in doing so, we realized that there really wasn't a perfect solution. So instead of just spending money on something we're not really in love with, or that's not the safest because we have the new granddaughter in the home that's only 4 months old, we decided to naturally stain our cement, the concrete, and do this company, which is an amazing company, Eco Safety Products, for staining and sealing completely no VOCs. Okay, so that was super exciting until we watched this, and I think the timing was perfect. It's like the universe was definitely telling us something, but we completely chose to ignore the sign. So we have the materials. We're about to start on this project, and someone shows us a video or came on our feed about what happens sometimes with concrete flooring with ghosting lines. And ghosting lines are basically the memory in the concrete of the flooring that was there before, particularly tile. And we were like, no, it's not going to happen to us. Definitely not. We're just so special. So we take off work. We actually rented an Airbnb local to the store. And, you know, it was just like, it's like moving day because you have to move everything out of your home to get to the flooring. So, wow, my husband worked his tail off. And so we do the stain. And of course, the ghosting lines start appearing. So all this money, work, effort, and we see lines. So we're like, okay, we're discouraged, we're upset, everything going wrong. So we're like, you know what? Let's just do a temporary fix because I can't stand seeing these ghosting lines. We can't afford to be out of our house any longer. We just have to get life started again. So we get this lowest VOC floor paint, okay? We pick white, thinking because it says durable, so I can wash it up, you know, not being realistic about children and dogs. So we get this, and this is why I'm doing the show, because it said, like, most VOCs of paint are, like, in the 400s or something. This was 23, so I felt pretty confident about smells and all that, right? Well, we put it down. Let's just say I'm trying to help Matt paint it. He did the spraying, and the smell, I could smell it like a block away from my home. That's how bad it was. And we had to finally, 5 days later, because of costs, come back into the home. And still, so it's been 3 days since we came back into the home, and it's still high VOC. So I was like, how can that be? It says 23. Most paints 400s, right? Well, because the EPA rates VOCs by the Clean Air Act by just how it affects the ozone layer. They have okay, so I'm going to be kind here, but as I'm breathing this stuff in, I'm getting a little bit hostile. It's mainly about what it does to ozone layer. No, all about what it does to the ozone layer. Nothing what it does to human health. Nothing. Not your liver, not your lungs, not your sinus, not the high blood pressure, not the headaches. Yes, so, and I'm only talking about just a few chemicals that people know are in paint. Like everyone knows, oh, they must have just painted, it smells. At least that one you're in a little control over, not the ones that, they kind of put in all these products that you're buying. But so back on the paint one, I am going to give a positive that we have learned so much about VOCs, and we thought we were pros about VOCs. We really did. I mean, in my home, I've talked about it on the radio show many, many times about controlling VOCs, but I don't know how this little fact always skipped my research that they only govern VOCs by how it affects the ozone layer. I don't know how. I never learned that. So if you're like, yeah, Joanne, I've always known that, then, oh my gosh, I wish someone had told me, because now we're living in a smelly, painted environment that, I wish I could go back, but we can't. So, and it's very bright white. My kids saying they feel like they're living in a hospital right now because it's white cabinets, white floors. But
are you going to need to put some kind of a shining gloss down on
well,
it?
it is, we did pick like a sheen like that, really easy to wipe. And I have to say that, like, for the paw prints or something from going outside, it's like a quick wipe. I mean, clean up on this paint. So yeah, and that's the problem. Most people are willing to forgo their own health and sacrifice themselves because of what the product makes. So, with furniture, especially those easy to assemble furniture pieces, the MDF, the press board, painting, adhesives, like I was cracking up. There's one product that I'm going to go into a second that's to clean your house, but they use this adhesive tape to put the product together, and the adhesive is super dangerous to begin with. So it's just like plastic. Yes, there's so many negatives, but the things that plastics are used for are life-saving at the same time. Mm-hmm. But the goal to the show, because obviously I'm living in a VOC nightmare right now, is to tell you about how to clean it up, how to protect yourself, and how to avoid the most obvious ones. Okay?
Our bodies can absorb things besides digestively.
Yes, exactly. Our skin is such a huge organ. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you can definitely, and so this is the premise, all right? Now, we have a VOC tracker in our AC units. My brother's in the AC business, so I got a nice deal to have a great AC put in, as well as a VOC monitor. And we did notice when the other story is that when the carpet on the stairs was removed, just like how it helped my daughter's allergies instantly, it also brought our VOCs down from a daily 3,000 to closer to like 600 to like 800, which is really good. But do you know that's still not considered great? VOC should be under 100, if not 0. So that was our goal, to get the VOCs the lowest in the house. All right, so some of the things that should be really obvious that you can avoid would be the ones that you can control. So if you are putting in flooring and your budget can't do the lowest VOC ones, I totally get that more than ever. But air fresheners, let's start with air fresheners. We are completely in control of that. And I have a lot of friends that are so health conscious, they'll only buy organic for inside their body. They'll eat super clean. They'll spend money on grass-fed beef, but yet they'll use one of those big foo-foo candles. So you have to really put in perspective that your lungs, your respiratory system is affected immediately by these things that you're breathing in, okay? And especially if you can actually breathe the scent, it's probably much worse than other things that are silent but deadly. So it has already been proven not only a carcinogenic, okay, causing cancer, but also liver failure, high blood pressure, and just the simple headaches it gives should be a warning sign right there. I try to let people know our bodies are equipped with all the tools they need. We're born with every tool, and that's why we have a nose to smell. So if you smell something that's very strong and not natural, it's not natural to the body and it will cause harm. So it really is that simple. And the problem is with all these fragrances, they're all these man-made chemicals, and I can give you all the names, and I know all the names, and I wrote down all the names, but I realized they really don't matter. You can Google the list.
How about aromatherapy?
Yeah, so you can do, anytime someone walks in the store, I have to say I'm pleased that most people go, wow, it smells so good in here. So I usually run peppermint oil, sometimes a touch of ginger or orange oil just to kick up the peppermint. And I use only organic food-grade oils in my diffuser. And a diffuser is just like this water pot you plug in, and it just gives a nice, beautiful, constant air mist of the essential oils. Those work incredible. I have a huge one in my house because with the dogs, I don't choose to use like flea killer or tick killers, and peppermint oil has always, for years and years, my last dog just passed away at 18 years old, and she's only supposed to live 12. She's one of those tiny breeds, and so yeah, peppermint oil has always worked for me. Okay, so that's a good one, Cliff. Thanks for mentioning that. So yes, that is a perfect solution, is natural aromatherapy. We're going to go into a break. But when we come back, again, I'm going to really try to focus on solutions and some of the real obvious VOC makers in your home. And a couple of them I learned as well. I'm just learning so much today. Holy moly. All right, we'll be right back, guys.
You're listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Joanne from Nutrition World and Wellness Center. I am really excited to introduce new guests and topics to my show every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. here on WPSL, where my listeners can call in on any topic. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it. We want to help you become the best version of yourself. We'll have naturopaths, coaches, and of course, Dr. Ravi will be here every month as usual. I am looking forward to sharing my years of experience with my listeners so we can enjoy this life journey together.
Visit Joanne's Nutrition World in the Kras Square, formerly known as the Arcade Building, located at US 1 and Orange Avenue, across from Fort Pierce City Hall. Open Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, Saturdays 10 to 3. Taking appointments for the Wellness Center online at joannesnutritionworld.com or call 772-464-3598.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
Join Joanne Seeger as she guides the Treasure Coast to health, one person at a time, on Joanne's World of Nutrition, now on a new day, Wednesday mornings at 10 on WPSL.
I am so excited to share with all my listeners all the cutting-edge health topics of today. I look forward to hearing from you. Remember, it's a live call-in show. Any questions you have on health and nutrition, I look forward to answering.
Join us here for Joanne's World of Nutrition every Wednesday morning at 10 on WPSL.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We now return to Joanne's World of Nutrition once again. Here's your host, Joanne Seeger.
Hey everyone. So I was so excited about the topic today. What did we forget? The most important thing? Our
The
breathing
breath work.
exercise.
And we're talking about breathing in scents and candles and stuff. Oh, my.
It's like, I hate to say it, but it's like you're almost scared to breathe with this topic because you look around you going, oh, carpet or a thing. But yeah.
They say better late than never, though.
Right.
I used to climb the stairs the same way when I was a kid.
I know. Like, again, ton of energy. And it reminded me during the break of one other story that was incredible. So when, so Shelby, my daughter-in-law that just blessed me with my beautiful granddaughter, Luna, she recently started also filling up. And so at first we thought, with breastfeeding, she's just running her system down because, those babies, love a lot of stuff, right? Yeah. So we were like, okay, maybe it's that. I had her, eliminate some of the obvious food choices that create mucus and stuff, and nothing was working. But we were so kind of like busy with the home project that I was like, okay, once I get this flooring done, then I'm going to focus on Shelby and get her some relief because she constantly was just really bothered with the nose mainly and just constantly sniffling in just like Scarlett used to do. But she never had a problem before in her bedroom. So I was like, okay, so her carpets, didn't bother her before. What changed? So the where am I going here? We went to the Airbnb and she had no issue. Everything was fine. She didn't do any of the any respiratory distress at all. So I was like, okay. And she slept with a fan because I thought maybe the fan, but I cleaned the fan really perfectly. That's the overhead fan. But the one thing that I didn't realize, when she was sleeping, she took this floor fan and she would point it towards the bed because, when she would breastfeed throughout the night, sometimes she would get really warm. So she pointed the fan right towards her. All right. So isn't that crazy that just pointing a fan in a different direction versus what you did because she's used this fan for 2 years, but just the fact she pointed in a different direction near her airway, she was so bad. And these are the type of things that when I tell clients and customers to look for the obvious before even embarking on an allergy medicine or allergy supplement or something for your immune system, it might be something that is in your environment. So for, Scarlett, it was the carpet stairs. For Shelby, it's basically a fan that was pointed, just a little bit different direction than it had always been pointed. So just really try to look at the obvious. So we were talking about what the obvious things are, like the air fresheners, the candles. Those plug-in ones are the worst, okay? And the next really bad one is dryer sheets. So dryer sheets are really, really bad. So, everyone loves their laundry smelling clean and feeling soft, and I get that, okay? But the dryer sheets have been linked to reproductive issues, cancer, blood disorders. I mean, very serious stuff, okay? And sometimes some of these products have up to 14 different VOC chemicals in one product, okay? And again, real long names, a lot of them, but they all will show carcinogenic, but they will say that the amount used in these products, though, are so low, but no one has ever tested the combination of them and in a home that already has other VOC products. So sometimes, and I don't know, Cliff, if you remember, but it was years ago, I did that quiz show, what is the most dangerous room in a family home? Do you remember that quiz show? Do you remember what the answer was?
Let me try to guess. I know, you'd think the bathroom was probably the most obvious one.
No, that's not. That's actually further down the list. there's two high ones. So in a family home, and that was the trick, saying family, it's the infant baby room.
Oh.
Yes, because
Ooh.
think about it. Parents get super excited, and all of a sudden it's new paint, sometimes new flooring, fancy little wall decor, a new crib that has tons of flame retardant on them. So it becomes the most toxic room in the house. The second is the laundry room. Here you're thinking, oh, you're cleaning your clothes and getting everything fresh and clean
And
again
all those
to wear
little dryer
again.
rags that smell funny.
Yeah, so the dryer sheets are really bad, but so is all the other products that are normally put. And the biggest issue, and I have it as well, everyone in the house wants their clothes to smell great. And they don't care if it's perfume smell or whatever. They just don't want to smell what clothes really smell like. And so what another trick is, and you can find these everywhere now, is the dryer balls. So they're wool dryer balls, and they're everywhere, and it's so easy. You can just take that same peppermint oil and you could put a little on the dryer balls and use them in the dryer instead of dryer sheets. Or I will give a shout out, Myers has incredible dryer sheets. It does cost more, but one sheet could last like 3 loads. Everyone makes fun of me because I won't throw away the dryer sheets until like there's no natural fragrance left. It's still kind of like I'm thinking the smells are so strong, but supposedly natural. Like, not sure if it's 100% compliant, but definitely it doesn't give me a headache, and definitely better for you than the toxic laundry detergents, perfumes. So just try to get used to what really clothes smell like in general, and try to keep the chemicals out of your home that are controllable. All right, so because the time is ticking away, we mentioned doing essential oils for air freshening, okay? But the best way to, on an everyday basis, clean your home is using plants. And I remember years ago, right before Jonathan was born, I got tons of plants, particularly spider plants, because I do not have a green thumb. So all my friends in the business said, use spider plants because you can clean the air, but they're really safe for animals, and they're so easy to keep track of and take care of. So I bought, I think, like 10 or more spider plants because the home was new, and it was new paint and some new furnishings, and I was like, oh my God, I am making a VOC toxic storm. So I put the spider plants all over, and hopefully I did the trick, but the NASA study that most people go off of shows that our indoor air pollution can be up to 5 times greater than outdoor air pollution. So, and then if you put the things that we buy, the fragrances, the shower sprays, the shampoos, the laundry detergents, the cleaning products, especially chlorine bleach, or even if you do little home projects inside the house, it can be even worse than that. So plants can really clean it up. Spider plants was the one I went with because it says that it's safe for animals, but there are so many others. So I did make a list, but I'm just going to go over my favorite because of time. So English ivy is definitely another one of my favorites. So you do have to be careful with your dogs and cats, but it's phenomenal, not only for taking out indoor air pollution, but also mold. So it's a perfect one to have in the bathroom. So English ivy to me is absolutely beautiful, and it also removes one of the worst chemicals that is in hair dye that's definitely carcinogenic. So you would take the English ivy, you can put it in your bathrooms, it can traipse down, it's beautiful, and actually it's the look right now, that whole natural look with the plants. I don't have a green thumb, but English ivy, you just water it a few times a day, so obviously you don't want to have it too high where it's inconvenient, but absolutely beautiful plant and great to capturing almost 90% of indoor air pollution. To me, that's incredible. If you rent an air scrubber, from like say Lowe's, Home Depot, or a rental place, which we plan on doing once the home project is absolutely finished. We are going to rent an air scrubber. It's a couple $100. It uses carbon, which is by far the most effective way to clean the air, is to have those carbon filters. And you can go online. It's just like this whole DIY thing we attempted to do. There are little DIY hacks that you can do with air filters and fans, but nothing works as well as the carbon. So if you scrub the air, that works great, but that's not only the issue. Yes, if you're doing construction, but if every day you're bringing in VOCs with your habits, then you need something daily. And that's why the plants would work great for a daily. And plus they look beautiful and they're inexpensive. Spider plants especially, they give off all the little shoots and you can make more plants. So there is spider plants, English ivy. My next favorite, because really hard to kill, is aloe vera. Any of our locals know aloe vera can grow huge here. I mean, it's really hard to kill. Plus, it has all these medicinal benefits. You can use it for sunburn. You can use it for acid reflux, digestive issues. It produces collagen. So look at it. It's like a win-win. You clean the air and you can use it medicinally. But the larger the leaf, the more effective it is at cleaning your air. I mention that because some people will buy these little aloe vera plants because they look really pretty, almost like cactuses or succulents in little jars. But to really clean your air, you need a larger plant and to be more effective. All right, so I do have a question here, sir, about citronella. Unfortunately, not on the list. Now, NASA did try for their experiment. They did try to use common household plants that anyone could access. So citronella could have, I mean, come on, it keeps away mosquitoes. It must have other great benefits. But they used plants that were easy to get, inexpensive, and most of them have larger leaves, not all of them. So they're saying, you know, a little tiny aloe vera plant might not do the trick, you know. But if you give it big pots and you let it grow big, but I've seen some aloes. It's not something I usually would want to keep inside my home.
Not the big ones.
Yeah, not the big ones.
The huge ones with the orange blossoms.
Yeah, but maybe you can, you know, do it by your front doors,
Yeah.
you know, or an entryway that's opened a lot. Any little bit counts. But aloe vera is another one. The other one is the peace lily. So the peace lily I wasn't aware of. Maybe because anytime I see a flower, I don't think of it as a common household plant because I know I kill anything that's flowering. So the peace lily is incredible at removing toluene, formaldehyde, some of the real serious cancer-causing VOCs. And the peace lily is absolutely beautiful. And again, you want to grow it. You want to have a large enough pot where it makes an impact. You don't want to give it too much sun. I think it's about 4 hours of sun a day. I can't believe I know these stats. I know nothing about gardening. But the peace lily is another beautiful one. There are, I do want to look up a couple because now I'm forgetting the other two. But like I said, I stuck to the spider plant because I knew it was really inexpensive. We saw them at Sam's Club. They were selling spider plants for like $4, $5. And, you know, at that point, we didn't want to put them in the car because we weren't going right home. But that, I mean, what a deal that is.
A friend of ours gave us a little baby spider plant because they'll shoot out a little shoot with a baby on it.
I know, they're so cute.
Yeah, and I put one and soaked it into a little pot. And it, before long, it filled. We put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and it was huge, and there were shoots coming out everywhere.
Right, I know.
Beautiful.
So if any of my listeners can make it to the store and get me some spider plants, spider plants, spider plants.
That's a new,
that's going to be interesting.
Fashion.
Come to the store. I'll give you money for them. I really need them. All right, and then the Boston fern, was another one. Oh, this was another one. I know that I recognize it, but the name is so cool. It's the snake plant. So the snake plant, again, that one, pets can't eat the leaves, so you want to put it up high. But the snake plant is also incredible at cleaning out the air. And the other one is the Gerbera, oh, these garden people are making fun of me right now, Daisy. So the Gerbera Daisy. So that one is another flowering one that kind of surprised me. So there are others, but they say pretty much they couldn't test every single plant, but some of them clean the air up to 90%, and this is daily. And it increases the oxygen in the air and reduces the carbon dioxide. So it's a win-win-win. So get some plants in your house, and there's also so many other benefits to gardening that I've talked about on other shows. Working with soil, nurturing another thing is good for your soul, good for your mind. And I want to make mention one time again that inhaling VOCs can increase your blood pressure. I didn't know that, but now the research is really certain. I always felt like it did that to me. Like if I walked by a store, like some of those stores in the mall, and you can just smell all the plastic, the fake materials, the polyester, the formaldehydes, or the synthetic fragrance, my whole body would feel weird. And I know that I am kind of sensitive to these things, or once there's the knowledge in your brain, you react to certain things, but it definitely felt like I would have a blood pressure headache during those moments. And of course, it was only when it was intense. Like I can't go into those stores that sell all those body sprays, and I just can't. And it's kind of one of the rules I have in the house with the youngins. Please, I know Christmas time, they get all of these kits of all those sprays and candles. I cannot tolerate it. I don't want it in my home. But yet, here's all the paint. So here's the solution with the paint. So if you have done a construction project. See, this is how the VOCs are affecting me. My brain doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and a clothespin is not effective.
I'm just going to totally blame the VOCs why I'm just being tongue twisted. Okay, so an air scrubber is what I would suggest, but there's something else that Matt discovered online that makes so much sense. And without going into the chemistry aspect, it's calling cooking out the VOCs. Now in Florida right now especially, it's going to be a lot easier than any northern people trying to do this during the colder temperatures, but you actually have to make your room or home very warm. So you close up all the windows and the door, which I know sounds counterproductive, but it works. So,
easy to do this time of year, though.
Right? I know. You just close the doors, turn off the AC, and you're 90 degrees within an hour.
Sauna, instant sauna.
Right? So, but you want to just make it as warm as possible for as long as possible. Some people will say 4 hours. Some people will say 8 hours. Some people will say, overnight. Mm-hmm. You just do as long as you can, and then you open up everything. So if everyone hasn't figured it out yet, basically the premise, the warmer it is, the more the products gas off. And as that gas is in the air now, then you open up all the doors and window and the VOCs escape. And that's when you really want to get the fan movement going, and then close everything back up, and then use your ACs if it's obviously in Florida. So that is what we're trying to do. A little hard because, I'm not really keen on walking around in 90 degrees inside my home.
Me either. I don't like walking around in 90 degrees
so
outside.
If anyone has a really good deal on another Airbnb that we can stay at,
One with a pool, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We found a great one on Hudson Island that accepted pets. You know how hard it was to have an Airbnb that would take 2 dogs?
Wow.
This guy was incredible. And the backyard was fully, fenced in. So the dogs absolutely loved it because we don't have a
they
fence.
love to
I don't
run.
think they wanted to leave. They were like, no, no, no. But here's another one that I learned about. I said I learned about 2 main things, okay? And that was mothballs. Mothballs, or like those moth sprayers, extremely dangerous. And there are, just like there's mold remediation companies, they have that for the mothball stuff too, because once that smell is in your house, I mean, don't you remember, Cliff?
Yeah.
Like, I remember going into older people's homes, I hate to say it, but like my grandmother's, and the whole house smelled like mothballs. And, that's when you saved everything up in the attic, all your precious heirlooms, your clothes. We didn't have Goodwill coming to the corner every day. So her house reeked of mothballs.
And that's one of those childhood scents that bring you back to your childhood when you smell
Yes,
them.
but now, because I know all this information, I'm not getting a nice, wonderful feeling about Grandma right now, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she was breathing in all those toxic VOCs, which now are known to cause respiratory distress, cancers, especially lung cancers. So most of the companies can still, just like glyphosate and Roundup, all these are still allowed to be sold, only because they say, well, if you just use it alone, or you're not, breathing it in a longer amount. But that's crazy. If you put mothballs in your home, you're breathing it every time you're home.
A lot of folks put them
Yeah.
outside. They're supposed to repel snakes and skunks and
Yes.
all kinds of animals that would sniff around in your yard. and dig
Yes,
holes.
exactly. So again, like, you have to live life. You control what you can. But these days, I mean, why keep that kind of stuff, right? I mean, there's nothing that attracts moths that's that precious that you just go give it to Goodwill. So mothballs was another lesson that I learned. And the other one that really a lot of girls just kind of avoid this topic maybe because of vanity, I don't know, but I struggled with it, but now I think I'm finally over it, maybe because I'm 54 and don't care anymore, but is cosmetics. Hair dye, cosmetics, not good for you. Not good for your environment, not good for you. Sometimes when I see my daughters start applying makeup and I try to buy them the most natural possible, it just makes my heart hurt. It did take me a long time to stop wearing cosmetics. Sometimes I'll use like Mineral Fusion mascara if we have a night out. But it's really tough. We're so used to using makeup to look a certain way, especially the foundations. And now they sell primers and all this different makeup to make us what we think is more youthful and healthy. But unfortunately, it's doing the opposite. It's making us sicker and unhealthier. So I would definitely suggest brave that front and just really try to stop using the cosmetics. It's just not healthy in any way. There are things in the cosmetics that not only are dangerous, but outright disgusting. They're just, and the way some of these companies make them really hurt the environment as well. So try, what a couple brands that I use is Mineral Fusion. It's a mineral makeup. It's just a little pressed powder. So again, just once in a while, because I'm sure there's issues with that too. Anything that's colored or a mineral is not meant to be like dusted under our noses. Minerals are meant to be in the food supply where it's naturally chelated and put into our body the way it's meant to be put. So just consider that cosmetics is not your friend.
One good thing about smells, though, if they're bad for you, you probably know it when you smell it.
Yes,
Stuff.
and that's what a lot of experts will say. just kind of take a moment and smell your environment, especially your work environment or your home environment, wherever you are the most. And just really, if you smell any smell that doesn't seem like it's out in nature, that's a VOC. Sometimes the kids will joke, well, Mom, even farting is a VOC. But there's a difference between a natural organic compound and something that is dangerous
And if you got cattle,
toxic.
you pay more taxes for that.
Yeah, there you go. But it's really, and that's a perfect example, like all those gases. Like one time Matt brought me home this beautiful soft rug to go next to our bed. And again, I just focused on, wow, it's beautiful. It felt really silky. So he was trying to do such a nice thing. I step off the bed, silky, beautiful rug. And I started getting headaches, and I told him, I said, I'm not sleeping good. I'm tossing and turning. The entire rug was made of petrochemicals.
Oh.
There was no natural fibers in it. And so probably it would, last for 300 years. But that's the problem, is that it was off-gassing because it was new. So some other suggestions are, when you do decide to buy these things intentionally, which we all do. I just bought a shoe rack and I know is toxic. I'm going to open it up outside. I'm going to let it gas off in the heat, okay? So obviously not moisture, humidity. I'm going to try to have it bright, early morning sun, open up the box. Same thing with electrical cords. The toaster. When a toaster is brand new, you wouldn't believe how much it off-gasses. Wow. So have anything that burns, cooks, wires. Open up the packaging outside, let it gas off, and even your garage, because you can open all your garage doors just for a few hours if you can handle it. All these packages we're getting shipped from all these really convenient online shopping, everything gases off. So control what you can. The last thing I want to mention, again, this is mainly for people still using the hand sanitizers. Hand sanitizing and antibacterials still have very dangerous chemicals in it. And the ones that don't will say right on the front label that it doesn't contain the dangerous conditions.
Wow.
Ingredients, because they're very proud of that. Okay.
That's nice to know, yeah.
So if you really want to do little straight alcohol, but ethanol can cause very serious respiratory issues as well. All right, so you really want to be careful what you're doing daily, especially applying in your body or your work environment. So get yourself some plants for work, get yourself some plants for home, use natural essential oils. And the last thing, there is one supplement that I give to anyone that all these VOCs are bothering them, and that's Boswellia. Boswellia is phenomenal for your respiratory system. We sell it blended with frankincense oil. That's where it's derived from. It's super strong, very inexpensive, considering what VOC damage can cause later in life. So protect yourself, clean out your air, and go outside. Go get fresh air. All right, thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, presented by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce, across US 1 from City Hall at US 1 and Orange Avenue. And that's just on the west side of US 1, right across from City Hall. Joanne's Nutrition World. In what used to be the arcade building, now known as Crass Square. More Joanne's Nutrition World archives are on YouTube at WPSLTV.com.